So it looks like we're reaching the end of this first set in the semi-final between Alcaraz and Sinner. Now Alcaraz has had 3 breaks in this first set, which is not ideal. 81% serves in, 44% of these won. Unforced error is a little high at 12. Let's go back to the point by point. So we say lost his first service game and his second service game. So it's not ideal for Alcaraz, but of course this is a semi-final, so we can be a little bit lenient with the first set stats. So we're now 40-30, and I'll just wait for Sinner to hopefully win this first set, and then we can look at backing Alcaraz with a drifting favourites approach. As always, in these live trading videos, I am watching the match on another screen. The reason I'm not showing it on here is obviously to do with copyright issues. So I watch it on a separate screen. Always good to have a visual of the match so you know exactly what's going on. You can see if a player is struggling. Okay, so we've gone to deuce now. It's not going to be as straightforward as we thought for Sinner to close out this opening set. And also, of course, if a player gets injured, it's great to see if a player is struggling with an injury, then you've got a potential retirement issue to contend with. Obviously, if you haven't got a visual, you don't know this is going on. So we've got the first set win from Sinner, and we've got a price, not a great price, because of course he's a drifting favourite of 2.28. So I'm trading 250 per point. I'm going to put 2 points on here, £500 at 2.28. Now, of course, it's not great pricing because, of course, he's the favourite, but also this is a Grand Slam, so of course best of 5 sets. So we don't get the bigger price movement that we could expect in other tournaments. Now, Alcaraz has dropped the 3 breaks in this first set, which is not great stats, and his overall stats in the first set aren't ideal. But we've got to take into account the fact that he is the favourite. He could be a bit nervous in this semi-final, so you have got to be a little bit more lenient. The chances are and probability that he will come back from this, which is why the drifting favourites approach is such a nice strategy, because of course probability is on your side. So we'll just wait for this second set to commence with Alcaraz trading first. Now, actually, just to pick up, you see already, this is why you've got to get in with the pricing quickly. Already we're in a tiny little bit of profit. What have we made? Almost now, £5. Of course, this is on a £500 stakes. I mean, 1% profit already just for getting in your orders quickly. So I'd always suggest getting your orders in quickly. And of course, throughout the actual sets, you can predict where this price movement will go, so you can get the orders in before the games are even won. So you get the best price, and then you can actually make money, so you're ahead of the game straight away. And just while we're waiting, let's just have a look at these stats again. So the 3 breaks, 1 break from Sinner. So a pretty good first set there from Sinner. Some clean serving there. The final service game wasn't quite so straightforward. So service stats, the Sinner's better on the service stats. 8 winners versus 7, 12 unforced errors versus 9. Net points 1, not so worried about. Total points 1, 40%, so bang on the threshold. If it was a little bit less than this, I wouldn't particularly be so worried, because of course this is Alcaraz. With other players sort of out of the top 10, then I'd always stick to my 40% threshold. Love 50, certainly nothing to worry about. If it does go to love 30, I am taking a ultra cautious approach. Okay, we've got love 30, so I'll just hedge out there for a tiny little loss. So that's 60 quid on a £500 bank. Now this is because I'm taking an ultra cautious approach here. I don't want to be going too much into the red this early on in the match. There's always opportunities to get these small amounts back, so I'm not too worried at all about that. If we get back to 30 all, then I will look to re-enter. Let's say 60 quid in the red on a £500 stake is peanuts. 30 all, and time to simply re-enter. We've actually got slightly better pricing. Before we got 2.28, but it's only a couple of ticks above that. So very simply, just another £500 on Alcaraz. Now you can see the price shorting again. You've got to get in there quickly with this pricing. Prices are moving very quickly. There's of course a lot of liquidity in this market. It's not really going to plan here for Alcaraz or for this first game trading in the second set. If it goes to a third deuce, then I will be hedging out. Okay, so it hasn't. Sinner's won it, so we'll just hedge out. Now again, because Alcaraz is the favourite, we're looking at a minus £106.157 loss. This is not a big deal. At this stage of the match, there's plenty of opportunity to get back into it. It's a little bit annoying to have to go into the red this early on in the second set, but loads of opportunity, and the market still has a lot of confidence in Alcaraz, and this is due to the fact, obviously his performance, but sorry, this is shown by the fact that the pricing has only gone up to 1.84. If the market had lost confidence in him, then we'd probably be looking at a price sort of quite a way above 3. A reasonably straightforward service hold from Sinner, so we're simply going to back another 2 points. We've got better pricing here. Try and get in at 3.2 to re-enter the market. And of course, if we can get a break back, or at least just chip away at that early loss on the service holds from Alcaraz. A lot more confident looking service hold there from Alcaraz, so I'm just going to lock in some profits and reduce this liability with a look to top this up on his next service game. So you can see Fairbot does suggest an amount to lay off, and a lot of these suggestions are quite sort of preemptive. They're quite good. It doesn't quite fit with the strategy I'm following in this match, but it is a clever bit of software, and it does come up with some good suggestions of amounts to lay off, which gives you a nice balance between making profit and sort of securing your, or sorry, reducing the chances of you making big losses. So let's see what happens in this next game with Sinner. If we do get the break back, then I'll look to top up Alcaraz. If he holds, then I'll just simply top up again on Alcaraz's next service game to again lock in some profit on the next hold. A solid break there from Alcaraz, and you can see the price has shortened quite a lot, so I want to get in quickly with a £500 stake. It was a shame not to have more money in the market, but of course with that early hedge, or sorry, the 2 hedges in the first service game, it was more important to try and recoup the loss rather than put up too much liability. Had we had more money in the market, we'd be seeing a lot more profit here. So I'm sort of chasing this swing sort of halfway down, if you like. It would have been great to get that amount in the market at 3, but circumstances are that we're chasing it around 2.6, 2.06, 2.8. No biggie. We're not going to see big price movement here. We're not going to see big profits. But if he can confirm this break, we should see a nice sort of recouping of that early loss, which was the main objective, having taken that early loss in that first service game of this second set. So he's confirmed the break, so I'm just going to chip away a little bit of this, reduce the liability down, very little price movement, 1.89, drop, put 250 lay stake in there. So from 2.06 to 1.91 now, this is not great pricing. Obviously the biggest swing was when, unfortunately, we didn't have the money in the market. But it sometimes goes that way, but we've still got quite a bit of movement. Alcaraz started the match at about 1.74, so we got sort of 0.2 ticks price movement to potentially look for before we look at hedging out. £75 profit at the moment. We're not looking at exciting amounts, but the whole point of this second set now, because we had that early loss, is to recoup this loss, and then later on in the match, hopefully lots more opportunities to boost these profits. Now, just a quick note on these live trading videos that I'm doing. Now, the purpose is to show you sort of real life trading scenarios. Please do not just try and work out what I'm doing just from watching these by doing the sort of monkey see, monkey do approach. You've got to know what you're doing. Pre-match analysis, in-play analysis, staking, knowing when to enter and exit, which amounts, what to do to reduce your liability, what to do to boost your profits. It's not as simple as, you know, what's the strategy, a one-line strategy? Okay, I'm going to back or lay in the second set. If you do that, you are going to lose over the long term. There's a lot more to trading, and that's why I run my course, the complete guide to trading tennis matches. Of course, the link is in the description box below. So we've got the double break, and Alcaraz is now in the lead. So I'm only looking at a little bit more profit here, but I am going to stick another 250 on here. Now this is because we've reached pre-match starting prices with it going to 4-2, despite Alcaraz struggling in that first service game. Now this suggests to me that the price will go a bit lower than the pre-match pricing. You see there, we've got the pre-match pricing there already. If the market does have quite a bit more increased confidence, then we could potentially, you know, get down to the 150 mark, or at least the sort of 155 mark. So that's the thinking behind adding this extra point. Let's just have a look at Sinner's pricing. Now you can see how mechanical the tennis markets are with the pricing, with the support and resistance lines. So let's see if we see some movement. We've got 15 love now, and actually we haven't got the movement. Now that could have been because there was a bit of overreaction in the market with him getting that break, so we might not actually get particularly lucky here. If we don't see much price movement at all, I will just be kind of hedging my bets here and taking my money and running. 15 all. Now, of course, if he gets broken back here, it's no major biggie. Yes, it will have an impact on the profit and loss, but we'll essentially be back on serve. At 15 all, the pricing is not looking particularly great. Back down to 1.8. So at 30.15, we've got a price of 1.81, which is still higher than the price we got in with. So that suggests that was overreaction in the market. Sometimes you get the overreaction, sometimes you don't. It looks like in this scenario, even if Alcaraz wins this second set, I think the pricing is going to stay around this sort of area, which are the pre-match starting prices. If the market had increased confidence in him, then it would go lower than the pre-match starting prices. We've got the confirmation of the second break, and as I said earlier, yep, that was overreaction before, so it was a kind of futile attempt, putting that extra bit of money in the market. So I'm just going to take my money and run. Not a great amount of profit, but the main thing was here, recouping that early loss. Now, the reason why the profit is not very exciting is, of course, we didn't have money in the market for the big swing from just over 3 to 2.06, but this was because we had a cautious approach, but no harm done, and we actually made a bit of profit, and guaranteed in later sets, the way this game is going, there'll be plenty of opportunity to make some more profit. But the main thing is recouping that early loss. It's always nice to recoup the loss in the same set that you make it. In the Grand Slam matches, you can obviously make these later on in the further sets, but doing it in the same set is always a bit more comforting.
Now, if you found this video useful, then please do check out my YouTube channel for loads more videos and subscribe to be notified of when I upload new videos. And if you'd like to become a successful tennis trader, then you can start your journey by enrolling on my free video course, An Introduction into Tennis Trading, at protennistrader.com. And you can also grab a free copy of my ebook, Tennis Trading, the Ultimate Guide to Getting Started. I'll see you soon.